Nobody taught you this in school, not because they forgot, because the people who designed the curriculum never expected you to need it. $100,000 sounds like a number reserved for people who already had a head start. People with connections, with capital, with a last name that opened doors. And if you grew up being told that money is something you earn slowly, carefully, over decades of loyalty to someone else's company, that number probably feels like it belongs to someone else's life. It doesn't, but the path to it is not what you've been told. Here's the thing nobody wants to say plainly. People aren't failing because they aren't working hard. They're failing because they are operating under a massive, sophisticated false belief. They believe that money is something you earn by selling your time. It's not. In 2026, time is the most expensive thing you can possibly sell, and it has the lowest return on investment. If I lost everything today and had to make my first $100,000 from absolute scratch this year, I would not update my resume. I would not look for a second job. I would not grind harder inside a system that was never designed to make me wealthy. I would do 3 specific, highly mechanical things instead. And by the end of this video, you will have the exact blueprint to execute them yourself. But before we talk mechanics, we have to look at the real villain. If you have spent the last 6 months cutting expenses, sacrificing weekends, tracking every dollar on a spreadsheet, and you still feel like you are standing in the exact same place, listen to me. This is not a willpower problem. It is a structural problem. Most financial advice is written by institutions that profit from your slow, predictable accumulation. They want you in low-yield vehicles for 40 years so they can use your money while you wait. The system repackages your financial anxiety as personal failure. It tells you that if you just bought fewer coffees, you'd have a down payment. That is a lie designed to keep you compliant. The truth is simple and brutal. You cannot cut your way to $100,000. You have to leverage your way there. If you're someone who is done accepting financial mediocrity, someone willing to learn what the wealthy actually know, hit the like button right now. It tells me we're on the same page. Before I go further, let me explain something. The phrase side hustle has done more damage to people's earning potential than almost anything in the last decade, because it frames additional income as something small, supplementary, easily dismissed. Forget side hustle. What you have, the thing you know how to do better than the average person around you, is worth specific money to specific people. This is what elite earners understand, and most people never get taught. The portfolio of skill multiplication. It means instead of selling your labor once to one boss, you productize your knowledge into an asset and sell it 10,000 times to a global market. The old way of making money is like being a waiter. You serve one table, you get 1 tip. If you aren't at the table, you make 0. The new way is like owning the recipe for the signature sauce. You write it down once, package it, and it sells while you sleep. The reason this matters here is that the first 30 to 40,000 of our $100,000 target is going to come from one specific application of this principle. Mechanism 1. Monetized expertise, not a side hustle. Right now, small and medium businesses are drowning in the attention economy. They have tools they don't understand, platforms they don't have time to manage, problems they don't know how to name. If you can take one specific problem, converting their long-form content into short-form assets, building their automated client acquisition funnels, managing their systems, and charge a flat retainer of $2,000 a month, you only need 5 clients to cross $10,000 a month. That is not a theory. That is arithmetic. I can already see the comment someone is typing right now. But what about saturation? Everyone is selling services online. I thought the same thing. But 90% of people offering services online are amateurs, using generic templates. The moment you approach a business owner with a specific audit of their leaking sales process, instead of a copy-pasted pitch, you are entirely alone in that room. This is not about building an audience. It's not about becoming an influencer. It's about finding 8 to 15 people in the next 6 months who have a problem you can solve, and charging them what the outcome is actually worth. Quick check. Drop a number in the comments right now, 1 to 10. How many income streams do you currently have active? Be honest. I want to see where everyone is starting from. If you want to save this strategy so you can return to it before you pitch your first client, hit the save button now. YouTube stores it in your library. You will want this framework on your screen when you start executing. Mechanism 2. The stack, not the single bet. Most people trying to reach 100,000 approach it as one big move, one business, one investment, one opportunity that finally lands. That is not how it actually happens. What works is a stack. 3 income streams, each producing a third of the target, each reinforcing the others, rather than competing for your time. Here is what a realistic stack looks like in 2026. 1 service-based stream, the monetized expertise we just covered, generating 40 to 60,000 in year 1. Not passive, active, but scalable. 1 distribution-based stream, something you build once that continues to reach people. An email list, a digital product, a paid newsletter, a small course. This runs alongside the service work and eventually becomes the larger of the 2. 1 asset-based stream, and this is where most people jump first, and most people shouldn't. You do not start here. You arrive here. You take a portion of what the first 2 streams generate, and you deploy it into assets that work independent of your time. The mistake that kills most people is starting with stream 3 and skipping streams 1 and 2. You cannot invest your way to $100,000 from zero. You earn your way there, then you protect and grow it. I want to be honest about something. I came into this with a point of view. I think the traditional education to corporate pathway is no longer a wealth strategy. It is an insurance policy against absolute poverty, nothing more. I've tried to look at the data honestly, but you should know where I'm standing. Once you have your first 3 clients, you hit something I call the boredom valley. The initial excitement fades. The daily execution begins. Most people quit here because it stops feeling like momentum. I need 30 seconds of your actual attention for this next part. The secret to scaling from 30,000 to 100,000 is not getting 20 clients. If you take on 20 clients alone, your quality collapses, your stress compounds, and they fire you within 90 days. You scale through what I call the arbitrage engine. You stop doing the work yourself. You become the strategist. You bring in specialized talent who can execute the technical delivery for 30% of what the client pays you, and you spend your time exclusively on acquisition and quality control. You remove yourself from the machine. This is the rare financial content that does not end at just buy an index fund. If you want knowledge the mainstream narrative deliberately withholds, subscribe. We go this deep every week. Mechanism 3. Price anchoring up, not down. This is the mechanism most people leave the most money on. When you set prices for your services, your instinct is to price competitively, to price accessibly, to price in a way that does not feel like overreaching. That instinct is costing you compounding money across your entire career. Here is the anchoring principle. Your price is not just a number. It is a signal about the category of problem you solve. Low prices signal low-stakes problems. High prices signal high-stakes problems. If you want clients who treat your work seriously, your price has to communicate that the work is serious. Raise your price before you feel ready. Not arbitrarily, not recklessly, but deliberately, in the direction of what the outcome is worth to the person buying it, not what the hour cost you to deliver. The people earning 100,000 in 2026 are not working more hours than the people earning 40,000. In most cases, they are working fewer. The difference is the price signal their positioning sends. I don't know where you're watching this. Maybe it's late. Maybe you're at a desk at a job that makes you feel completely invisible. But if you've made it this far, I think you already know this matters. Save this video, not abstractly. Save it for the specific moment you are about to underprice yourself. Come back to this part, because the temptation will feel rational, and it will cost you every time you give in to it. There is one more thing, and this is the part most financial content never reaches. The velocity of the money is the goal, not the money itself. When that first significant revenue wave hits your account, your instinct will be to change your life. Validate your effort. Show people it worked. If you do that, you kill the momentum immediately. The final mechanism is this. Take every dollar of profit from your service business and pour it directly into scaling your own infrastructure. High-yield savings, specific undervalued positions, reinvestment into the distribution stream that will eventually outlast the service work. Treat your personal life as a low-cost utility. Treat your business as an aggressive wealth engine. Once you see how heavily the system rewards business owners and how aggressively it penalizes employees, you cannot go back to the version of the world where a standard paycheck felt safe. You are stuck with this clarity now, just like I am. You now have 3 mechanisms: monetized expertise, deployed as a specialty, not a side hustle; a stacked income structure, built in sequence, not simultaneously; prices anchored to outcome value, not hourly cost. Now that you understand how income gets built, the next question is where it goes, because the specific way most people manage new income is what keeps them from ever seeing a second 100,000. That breakdown is right here. One question for the comments: what is the single money belief you were raised with that you now realize was wrong? Drop it below. I read every one, and I guarantee you are not the only person who was handed that belief and told it was the truth.